Today is April the 14th of 2022. It is 5 p.m. And it's something about this first vision that just pierced me. I don't know how to explain it. Okay? The first of 4 vision sequences. Okay? I'm going to do the last one completely separate. Because your soul, you need to keep. Okay? The first vision of 4 sequence visions in one night, I named, which is today, April 14, 2022, the Russian bear take the man in its mouth. Cries of please help. The Russian bear takes the man in his mouth. But I audibly saw this man violently being, it was 2 men. And y'all need to understand, this is kind of stuff that the Lord starts to give me understanding on immediately. Is these 2 men are 2 heads, which are 2 nations, which are 2 leaders, but nations. Okay? And there was a tussle between the 2 men. One fell off. The bear has the other one in its mouth. And it's running through countries. And it's at an unnatural stride. The way this bear was running was at a stride that is not normal speed. It literally seemed to gallop. And each gallop was a town and a city, through the mountains, through the valley, over the mountain. And this man was dangling in his mouth from the side, right at the ribs. I can't ignore that. And this bear was so huge, running over and passing through mountains with this man in his mouth. And the 3 sequences of visions followed after that. And then the finality after I prayed and asked the Lord about how close and what I need to warn. And I'm going to say it in every video. Many will die. And in there, as I looked on and was a part of it, many of us will die. Not just to unbelievers. You will die. The safety we have is not about not dying. It's knowing who holds your breath and to where you, and to truly know to live is Christ, but to die is truly gain. So that you don't fear. Not only the death is coming, but to even give some expectancy of the transition, so that the enemy is not allowed to cause fear. You can't enter with fear. Nor can you allow fear to enter. Okay? I'm going to just read Daniel. And behold, another beast, a second. And behold, another beast, a second like a bird. And it raised itself up on the side, and it had 3 ribs in its mouth, and between the teeth of it. And they said thus unto it, arise and devour much flesh. I'm not going to do a lot of interpreting. That's why I saw the conquering of this man being carried, and death is going to ensue. A lot of death already has, y'all, but I'm telling you way worse. Okay? Way much worse. And much of the so-called church is not prepared because they think they're going to be fine. Okay? Grace notes. I saw this before. I saw war, death, and I literally saw spiritual transition of being taken out of your body at great speed. Okay? Now I'm going to read the notes from the 2 unknown analysts. Well, I'm going to unquote analysts, because it attested to some of what the Lord spoke. Because there's a lot of multifacetedness, but it's just something I need you to ponder. Okay? The first analyst says the bear is Russia. The bear refers to a furious nation who has devoured or is in the process of devouring the protection armies, the reals, of at least 3 smaller nations, or has absolute control over 3 smaller nations. In much the same way the Soviet Union had total mastery over smaller satellite countries within its empire. I use that as an example, okay? I have study notes here. Some of it I'm going to read this little other small part down here, because I have a part in my study notes where it says, and behold another beast. It's Daniel 7 and 12, okay, that I just read to you up top. And then it describes the connotation on one side, and then the 3 ribs. I'm going to read the 3 ribs because it's just something that's really on my mind, okay? These cannot signify the people who constitute the second empire, but rather some kingdoms which had already been subdued by it. And by the command, arise and devour, the second empire is permitted to make further conquests. And this is what I know I watched happen. Okay? It is permitted to make further conquests before its disappearance. It's not going to last forever. The Babylonians, the Lydians, and the Egyptians. That's another argument. But what's piercing more is the Ukraine. The 3 that the man spoke of. The 3 ribs. Being Ukraine, Latvia, and Estonia. We'll find out. But it's just something I want you to pray about, because I will have it in my prayer notes and I will put it in the blog. But this is the first one of 4 vision sequences had on 4, 14, and 22.